I'm Heather and welcome back to my YouTube channel where we talk about how to pursue your big dreams with little kids without losing your ever-loving mind. Doesn't mean we don't still have our moments, but what I teach and share here is going to help you to thrive in every area of your life and to operate in a way that is sustainable, not from hustle, but from rest. So today we're going to talk about my number one tip for processing and responding to difficult emotion. I always say that emotional health isn't being happy all the time, it's being willing to feel any feeling and support yourself through that feeling. And one of the best ways that we can do this is by replacing judgment with curiosity. Usually when we feel a difficult emotion like anger, frustration, fear, panic, anxiety, we judge ourselves for it. We think, I shouldn't feel this way. I should be past this. We do everything that we can to get out of that emotion as quickly as we can. Our brain truly thinks that something has gone wrong. Okay, nothing's gone wrong. And we talked about this last week, that this is the part in the story where I get really upset. But what we're doing with that line is we are trying to remove the judgment that we have over ourselves for feeling that feeling and replace it with curiosity. Curiosity is one of the most powerful emotions that we can create. When we create curiosity, we moved out of the fixed mindset and into the growth mindset. When we create curiosity, we start to discover that our emotions are actually coming from our thinking. And we start to ask ourselves, what was I thinking when I started to feel this way? A lot of us know, if you've learned about triggers or self-awareness at all, then you probably already know this idea of when you start to feel a certain way, asking yourself what changed or what happened circumstantially. But the thing that we're often missing is that it wasn't a circumstance that caused us to feel the feeling we're feeling, it was a thought. And when we get curious, we can follow the trail that that emotion leaves for us to actually find the thought that is creating the difficult emotion. So let me give you an example of this in my own life. So let's say that I wake up in the morning and I'm super grumpy. Instead of thinking, I shouldn't be grumpy, I should be more happy, I should be more grateful that I have these healthy kids and this beautiful home and this fresh coffee in front of me, which is just basically judging myself. It's myself. It sounds really nice, but it's just judgment. So if I go, oh, wait a second, I don't want to judge myself, I just want to get curious, then I can ask myself some great questions like, why am I feeling so grumpy? And I might immediately think, it's because I didn't get very much sleep last night. But I know that that's a circumstance. Getting a certain amount of sleep is neutral. So then I can ask, okay, if it's not my circumstance that's making me feel grumpy, if it's not to do with the sleep, then what am I thinking about the amount of sleep that I got that's making me feel grumpy? And that's when things get really interesting. That's when I start to discover, oh, I've been thinking that with that amount of sleep, I can't function. Of course, when I think that thought, I'm going to feel grumpy. Then I can ask myself, is that thought serving me? Again, from the place of curiosity. Is it going to help me show up in my day the way I want to? Is it going to help me show up as the wife and the mom and the friend and the coach that I want to? And if the answer is no, the next curious question could be, well, what could I think instead that would help me to show up the way I want to show up? And just to give you a hint, on days like this, the thought that I think is, I know how to take care of myself even with this amount of sleep. And when I think that, I feel powerful, I feel compassionate towards myself, and I feel also really curious. How am I going to do that? How am I going to take care of myself and still show up for this day? So today, the takeaway for you is replace judgment with curiosity. Instead of telling yourself you shouldn't feel the difficult emotion, ask yourself why you are feeling it. And here's that second level for you, that second layer is to know that it's not coming from your circumstances, but it's always coming from a thought. Okay, that's all for today. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends, and I will see you next week.